For someone like Selena Gomez, who has been through the whirlwind of fame, heartbreak, and global attention, that happiness ought to feel like a reward that is well-deserved, right? On the other hand, Selena recently revealed something that many people were not expecting to be true. She claims that even when life appears to be great, she is unable to fully appreciate it because, on some level, she is afraid that it will all be taken away. And here's the kicker, she even admitted that she was crying right after her wedding to Blanco, which was supposed to be one of the happiest days of her life. If you want to make sure that you don't miss any of the most recent Hollywood gist, emotional confessions, and behind-the-scenes truths, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. This will ensure that you don't miss any of the details that are emotionally charged and what she really meant by that. So, let's get down to business, shall we? At the most influential women conference hosted by Fortune in Washington, District of Columbia, the actress, singer, and businesswoman Selena Gomez, who is now married, took a seat. In all candor, she gave her whole heart to the cause. In response to something she had mentioned earlier, she was questioned about the fact that she sometimes has the feeling that she does not even deserve to be in certain rooms. I am Selena Gomez, and this is her. Now we are going to talk about the woman who started Rare Beauty, a company that is now worth more than $2 billion, and who has been a source of motivation for millions of people because of her candidness about mental health. In spite of this, the moment she began speaking, you could sense the vulnerability in her voice. When asked about her life, Selena stated that regardless of how many positive events occur in her life, she always has this lingering fear that everything is only temporary and that something negative will occur immediately after. In her own words, whenever something wonderful occurs in my life, I anticipate that something negative will also take place. She explained that her mind immediately jumps to the question, what if all of this goes away tomorrow, rather than simply living in the moment and celebrating her successes, whether it be in her business, her music, or her new marriage? In all honesty, that struck a chord with a great number of people. The reason for this is that despite the fact that she is a worldwide celebrity, what she is describing is something that many of us go through, and that is the quiet anxiety that comes along with being happy after experiencing pain. She went so far as to discuss the fact that she experienced a moment of emotional overload immediately following her wedding. She responded by saying, "I got married and then I was sobbing. It was not because she had any regrets, but rather because the wave of happiness she was experiencing almost frightened her." Following such a long period of emotional upheaval, it seemed as though her mind was unable to comprehend the concept of tranquility. In the following statement, Selena stated that she frequently finds herself engulfed in those worries, the kind that can appear even in the most beautiful moments of one's life. During the time that wonderful things were occurring, she stated, "I would say that is my biggest conflict sometimes. Immediately after I got married, I started crying because I was thinking to myself, I'm going to die the next day." Now, obviously, she did not intend for it to be taken literally. When something seems too good to be true, there is a profound and anxious fear that the universe might take it away from you before you know it. In addition, it is a very open and honest admission to make, particularly coming from someone who has spent a significant portion of her life in the public eye. Give it some thought. Selena Gomez is featured here. There is a global celebrity who has been through heartbreaks, public scrutiny, and personal battles, all of which have occurred in front of millions of people's eyes simultaneously. Consequently, it makes perfect sense for her to declare that happiness can, at times, feel like a threat. During her life, she has experienced times when happiness and suffering have been almost inseparable. In addition, when we talk about happiness, we should mention that her wedding to Blanco was not a simple affair. It was a moment straight out of a dream. This new chapter in Selena's life was celebrated by a number of celebrities, including Taylor Swift, Steve Martin, Martin Short, Paul Rudd, Cara Delevingne, Ed Sheeran, and even the couple tied the knot in California on September 27th, surrounded by a mix of Hollywood's finest and Selena's closest friends. There was a ceremony that screamed, "Selena deserves this joy." It was one of those ceremonies. Nevertheless, even at that time, when the entire world was rejoicing over the conclusion of her fairy tale, Selena was quietly struggling with her own mind, attempting to persuade herself that it was acceptable to experience happiness, that it was acceptable to finally breathe without anticipating something negative to happen. Also, to tell you the truth, that is something that a great number of people can relate to, because for anyone who has experienced a traumatic event, a heartbreak, or a loss, joy does not always feel safe. It has a fragile quality, as if one unwise action could cause it to disappear. It is precisely because of this that Selena's confession is so potent. This is not a random emotional moment that she is sharing with you. She is demonstrating that healing is a process that continues throughout one's entire life, even after achieving success, falling in love, and becoming famous. And to tell you the truth, if there is one person who has been there for Selena through everything, it is her best friend Taylor Swift. During the same Fortune Summit, Selena revealed how much support she has received from Taylor, not only in her personal life, but also in her professional life. I was told by her that Taylor was one of the most brilliant people I had ever encountered. And to tell you the truth, we believe her. She is very strong in her lane, and she often gives great advice, Selena said. She is always giving great advice. I'm not sure what I've done for her other than to be there for her as a friend, and that just goes to show how humble she still is, despite all of the success she's had. There was one piece of advice that Taylor gave that really stuck with her, and it is something that all of us could benefit from. You are in the wrong room if you take pride in being the most intelligent person in the room. Selena was quoted as saying that this is the mentality that has enabled her to build her billion-dollar doll brand, Rare Beauty, and to surround herself with people who encourage her to develop rather than compete. Despite the fact that she is at her level, it is wonderful to see that she still believes in gaining knowledge from other people. Also, do you know what makes it even more remarkable? They have been friends for a very long time, all the way up until the year 2008. It's true, once again, during the Jonas Brothers era. Matching energy, teenage heartbreaks, long phone calls, and Taylor dating Joe and Selena dating Nick are all topics that are discussed. And despite all the chaos that came with fame, they managed to maintain their friendship. Throughout the years, they have been there for each other at events such as award shows, concerts, and even in everyday life. This friendship has endured the test of time, as evidenced by the fact that Selena has been there for Taylor throughout each new album release, and that Taylor has been there to bring Selena out during her Reputation tour. In the past, Taylor has been the kind of friend who does not simply post "I love you" on the internet. It is true that she is present when it is necessary. Additionally, in a world as chaotic as Hollywood, loyalty of that kind is extremely uncommon. And to tell you the truth, if you ever had any doubts about the authenticity of Selena and Taylor's friendship, the following section will make your heart melt. A podcast hosted by Jake Shane's therapist featured an interview with Selena in which she stated that she and Taylor enjoyed making jokes about how the best thing that we got out of those relationships was each other. Both of them were going through those messy breakups that were associated with the Jonas Brothers back in the day, and that is how they became friends, as if, in the midst of all the mayhem, heartbreak, and headlines about teenagers, a genuine community of sisters emerged. Despite the passage of 16 years, they continue to be each other's ride or die. At the present time, Taylor was seated in the front row and in the center of the room at Selena Blanco's wedding to Benny Blanco. Not only did she show up, but she also delivered a speech that was so moving that it left everyone with teary eyes. During an appearance on The Tonight Show, Taylor expressed her fondness for the year 2008, recalling all of the wild outfits they wore, the growing pains they experienced, and how proud she was to see Selena finally get her fairy tale ending. I got to see her be the most elegant, gorgeous, not only bride, but just vision that I've ever seen in my life, she said, and I choose to quote her. Never before have I witnessed anything that was as stunning as her on the day of her wedding. As in, wow. You are not just a close friend, you are a member of the family. Doesn't it have a poetic quality to it? Two young women who were once brought together by their shared experience of heartbreak are now celebrating love, growth, and everything they have endured. The events that have transpired in Selena's life, beginning with her erratic relationship with Justin and culminating in her public healing and eventual reconciliation with Benny, feel like a complete circle. Despite everything that has happened, she has not changed. She is still the same kind-hearted young lady who feels everything deeply, including the joy that she sometimes finds difficult to maintain. Still, it's possible that this is what makes her so adored. She is a human being. It is easy to hurt her. She is genuine. To tell you the truth, guys, Selena's journey is something else entirely. She is living proof that even the most frail of hearts can find their way to a happy ending, having gone through everything from heartbreaks and healing to finally walking down the aisle surrounded by love. In addition, the fact that Taylor Swift has been there for her throughout it all is the kind of friendship that we all hope to have, one that is unwavering, devoted, and enduring through each and every season. But if we are being honest, it also reveals something more profound to us. Even if life provides you with everything you've ever desired, it is perfectly normal to still experience feelings of fear. As Selena does, it is acceptable to feel things to a profound degree. This is what makes her so approachable and real. She is not concealing herself as a result of her fame or the filters. Indeed, she is genuine. I am now interested in hearing from you. Do you believe that Selena will ever be able to truly relax and take pleasure in the happiness that she has created for herself? On the other hand, do you believe that she will always be a part of her presence with a lingering fear of loss? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section, as you are aware that we tend to read them.